Hey everybody, it's Caleb at Prehired again. Today we're doing another pre-hire success story. Today we've got Jordan Bridgewater with us in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he's just got hired to a top sales team. Jordan, if you want, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your background and what were you doing before you found Prehired?
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Bridgewater. I'm 22 years old. And like Caleb said, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now, and I just got hired to a top sales team. Um, Before pre-hired, I was actually in school, in college, taking some courses, and I kind of found out that it wasn't really for me. So I actually ended up dropping out of school. And there I just started working. I started working at a Smoothie King. I got into management there, and then I went to working at Costco, and I did that, and then I actually got my first taste of sales was actually in multi-level marketing. That's got to say that quiet. That's a bad word. And then I actually transferred into car sales, and pretty much all of those things to me, in just my opinion, were just dead end jobs. So to sum all that up, before I pre-hired, I was just working at dead end jobs.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say, obviously that's a struggle. What would you say were, some of your other career struggles you might have had before you found pre-hired?
Just having that career longevity, as far as everything that I was doing was just a job and not really career oriented. It's just like, oh, you can't stay here forever and make end up buying a house doing this. Some people might look at me working at the dealership as far as a career, but it was a lot of things that's just going into selling a car and actually working at a dealership that just wasn't morally or ethical in my own views. And I just knew that I didn't want to do that forever.
So you wanted a career change, right? You wanted to look around, you knew there was something
Right.
for you. And then you found the pre-hired ad. I'm curious, when you found that, what was your initial thoughts? What were you thinking at that point?
Well, I found the ad on Facebook of all places, because I rarely even use Facebook, but I clicked on it and I immediately first started like, oh yeah, this is a scam. Especially, me just coming from multi-level marketing, and just that just changed my whole outlook, as far as, you can be swindled in 2020 and 2019 very easily. So I initially thought it was a scam, and I did, very extensive research, from reaching out to past members who did the program, and, deliberately forget the 5-star reviews on Course Report and whatnot. I'm looking for specifically, the bad reviews. And so, but it's not a scam though. So I initially thought it was a scam.
What would you say, helped you overcome those hesitations and really pull the trigger and start at pre-hired?
Well, I knew I just needed a career. I wanted a career, and I wanted to do something. I know you have to do something in order to, grow and, make money and things like that. But the biggest thing was just going on LinkedIn and looking at, past members. All right, they were at pre-hired for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever the time. And then right after there, were working at a tech company. And I saw that time and time again after looking at various members who are on LinkedIn. And I was like, okay, that's promising. And then I actually, went back and forth on LinkedIn with some of the past members, like, yeah, I have a job, and I'm grateful for pre-hire, which is, really cool. So just looking at the results, the real world results, because obviously everybody's not in on the lie. If there was a lie, these are too many people to keep this lie up. And so I was like, okay, this has to be real. And also, as far as, the income share agreement, as far as, you guys don't make money unless I make money, which was another, reassuring thing, like, hey, these guys want me to succeed. And so those were the two biggest things that made me actually want to pull the trigger.
Absolutely. So you did decide to join. When you did, how long did the program actually take you?
I actually wasn't working. And so I just dedicated this whole span of me doing the coursework and doing my job search process. So from start to finish, it actually took me about 50 to 55 days, less than 60 days, from starting, barely even knowing what the tech world is and just all of this opportunity out here, to actually doing the coursework and getting certified and actually landing, getting an offer and accepting that offer. It was 50 to 55 days.
Really amazing stuff, man. I'm curious, throughout the entire program, what would you say was like the one part that you just liked the most? Like, what was your top favorite part of the entire program?
My favorite part was just there. You guys offer us mentorship. There's someone that I get to check in. It kind of feels like a kind of more of a work environment. As far as when you go to work, you have a supervisor, you have a manager, you have an upline. As far as these are people that are there to make sure that things are going according to plan. And if you need help, they're there for you. So that my favorite part was just, working with, you, Caleb, and, Josue and the other mentors that are, afforded to us. And also, just being a part of a Slack cohort. And there's, with previous members, and there's just so much knowledge out there within the pre-hired community that's, there for your success. So I just like the whole camaraderie of it all.
Is there any criticism or constructive criticism you could give pre-hired? Like, is there maybe anything you would have liked to have seen changed about the program?
Not too much in particular. There was some things as far as the coursework. Like in the beginning, you start learning about a specific CRM, but then when you get closer to the end, we're not using that. We're using this. But other than that, it's pretty much very fluid. It goes into depth. It's like Josh says, no filler, no fluff. It's just getting straight to it, the meat and the core of what it is to be an SDR, how to break into this world and to this industry. And other than that, I don't have any gripes or concerns about it.
Well, getting to the nuts and bolts of the entire thing, talk about your career search and talk about, what was it like getting hired?
So just going through the prep that you guys actually make us do, as far as, making a top 10 list and making sure that we know the inner seller. We know that we know how to use these tools. We know how to do the actual outreach and how the workflow is going to be set up, which I think is, very, very major, as far as you're not just making us do it. You're actually giving us the tools and understanding why those tools are there and making sure that we have the skills to execute those things and bringing it all together so you can have, a very definite workflow. And so before I even started my job search process, I was just like, okay, I'm finna go crush it, because I was just prepared thanks to you guys. And so just getting into my job search process, my first week, I just reached out to 20 companies, 20 different managerial people at those companies, whether it be if there are smaller companies like VP of sales or director of sales, or usually just, inside sales managers, SDR managers, BDR managers, and just things of that. And that's pretty much was the bulk of my job search process, those initial first 20 companies. A lot of people do way more, but thanks to you guys, I was able to, have killer emails. I set up my emails sequence, which was like fire, And when I was sending those emails, I had an 80% open rate, which I think was very major. So and a 50% response rate. And so from that, the bulk of my job search process, and from my interviews with different companies and whatnot, came from the initial week, just reaching out to those 20 different companies. So that was the bulk of it. And then after that, that's when I started getting interviews and actually started narrowing down. And thanks to the application that we use called Hunter, I was actually able to see this company go from this stage to this stage to this stage and to this stage, and just see kind of like almost like a mini race as far as the companies that you're looking at. And then I went through the rounds of interviews, make sure that I was prepared as well. You guys at Prehired actually made me do a pretty good project. I'm thankful for it, because I don't think I would have got hired without the project. But it's pretty much a project that's centered around, hey, we're gonna role play a little bit and make it seem like, hey, this is what you would do in your approach to outreach, as far as if you were working for that company already. And that's major. I haven't seen anything like that on the internet. Nobody's really talking about that. And that's the bulk of my job search process, just reaching out to those companies. And once I start getting those emails, just making sure that I have those projects lined up. And so when I show that to them, that's really what helped me move to the next phases and get an offer.
Do you care to tell everyone, where did you accept your offer at and what your role is going to be?
Yeah, I can tell the company. It's a company called Rubric. It's in the cloud data and recovery and backup spectrum of tech companies. It's actually based in California, but I'm actually
Keep going. We can edit this.
Yeah, well, where did you hear me? Where did you hear me?
Right when you were talking about your new offer.
Like I said, the company that I actually accepted my offer with is called Rubric. It's actually based in California. It's in the cloud data and backup. It's in the cloud data recovery and backup spectrum of tech companies. And but the role was actually for the office. It's a fairly new office that they're opening up in Austin, Texas, which is pretty cool. You know, Austin, Texas is actually the southern Silicon Valley, which is pretty cool as well. So that's actually where I accepted my offer.
Jordan, I got one more question for you. Let's say there was another Jordan Bridgewater out there that's maybe stumbled across Prehired, and maybe he's at that stage where he's got questions and he's looking around trying to get answers. If you had a chance to speak with him, what would you tell him?
I would just tell them, first of all, do you want to do this? Do you want to get into, this industry? Because this industry can be very rewarding, but you have to be very intentional with everything, especially signing up, for pre-hired, having an income share agreement, which most members actually ended up taking. And so you have to be very intentional. But if you're set on, hey, I want a new career, even if I'm not really sure, or even if I don't even have like a sales background, like this is what I want to do. And then I would just say, just listen to, everything that Prehired has to offer from your mentors and, previous members that already went through the program, and just absorb all that knowledge, absorb all the knowledge from the coursework and apply it, and you'll be successful. It's not hard at all. They don't do the work for you, but they give you the tools to do the work and be successful at it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Jordan Bridgewater. Jordan, we really appreciate you being with us here today and sharing your story. I know there's a lot of people out there that can resonate with this, so we really do appreciate it, and just thank you so much for getting your story out there.
I appreciate it, Caleb.